Hey, are we recording here? Okay, looks like we are. Hey friends, welcome to Vinylize. I am Jarrett New, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 ways to play records, as you saw in the video title. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and you're probably also wondering what this is behind me. Well, basically, before we start, the video, and before we get into everything, and while people are still joining, basically, I wanted to say thanks to the people that sent super chats during the last live stream. So let's just do that real quick. Okay, so Thai Song, thank you. Neutral Milk Hotel, Milk Toast, Robert Adams, Lie Likes Music, Not Say Agavas, Teddy 5691, Mr. Meeseeks, Darren McCall, Brad Underwood, Wayne Cornish, Jammy Gaming, Efrain Dimas, Tyler Wegman, Jack Mummy, Snowmeyer, Zeno Sonic, and Hank Foreman, and this gentleman whose name I can't pronounce. So if that's your name, thank you so much. And you guys are going to see all those names in the background as I'm speaking here, and hopefully this isn't mirrored image. Hopefully you guys will see this okay. All right, so also if you're joining us later, like if you didn't watch this live, then be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell notification so that you won't miss future live streams. That way you can join us, because this is going to be a lot of fun today. All right, so, oh, it is mirrored. Oh, okay, it's mirrored image. Oh, well, maybe I'll mirrored image this for the next video or something. Dang, that's a shame. Well, at least you guys heard me. Hopefully you guys heard your names. So let's wait for a few more people to join here. Oh, happy birthday, Jonathan Gillis. It's almost your birthday tomorrow. Oh, it's a shame that it's mirrored. Well, I'll figure that out next time. I'll maybe get this mirrored or something. I know on iPads you can do stuff like that. Oh, you're welcome, Jonathan Gillis. Hello to King Kwan Productions. Greetings from Los Angeles to my Canadian viewers. We'll just wait for a few more people to join. Right now we've got 97 people watching currently. Hey Ty, good to see you. So we'll just wait for a little while. And in between these, before and after this list, I'll also be answering y'all's questions about vinyl and stuff like that. This channel is everything vinyl related, so we're going to have a lot of fun today, guys. Also, can you hear this music okay? Is it coming up on the mic? I'm also using a different microphone here. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty clearly. Hey, from Canada, you just turned 13. Happy birthday. All right, so let's talk about the top 5 ways that you can protect your vinyl records, okay? Let's just get right into it. So we've been live streaming for about 3 minutes so far, so hopefully, if you came here much later, it didn't take you too long for me to kind of get to the point here. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. Number one way to protect your vinyl record investments is to clean them. That's the most important thing you can do. When you first get a record, now I'm going to show you guys this record right here. This is a beautiful record that I got from the Parlor Trick. Meredith Yayanos was nice enough to send this to me. And this is a gorgeous record. So the first thing you should do whenever you get a brand new record is, of course, clean it. Because a lot of times when they press these records, the factories are really old and dusty and stuff like that, and they're not the cleanest. So the first thing you can do to make sure that you're going to get good sound from your record and that it's going to be protected is to clean it. So I'm going to set this back down here. All right, so what I use to clean is, I know they have much more like expensive and fancy cleaning options out there, like the VPI record cleaning machines and the the Okinoki, and all those other fancy record cleaning machines. But I've never bought one of those. I don't have any experience with those. I might get one in the future, but for now, I pretty much just use this RCA disc washing cleaning kit, and it works pretty well for me. So this is what I use currently. And also all the stuff that I'm going to talk about, the links are all going to be down below for your convenience if you want to check them out. So this is what I use, and basically you just put a few drops of this on there, and you just kind of very slowly go around the entire record, a couple of times on both sides, and then you just let it air dry, and you're good to go. So the first most important thing is that you should actually clean your records, okay? Oh, yeah, I see that some people have a spin clean. That's good. Okay. Yeah, sorry that everything's a mirrored image, guys. Apologies for that. We'll find a way to fix that in the future. All right, so number one is clean your records. That's the most important thing. Okay, number two most important thing that you can do is to, let me just grab this down here, to keep them in inner sleeves. Now, these are my absolute favorite inner sleeves. There's the MoFi Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab inner sleeves, and in my opinion, these are the best things that you can buy to protect your records, okay? So what's cool is that I don't think they used to make it this way, but now they do. They have this kind of cutout right here so that you don't have to take all of them out, you know, because they kind of tend to fall out. You can just grab one at a time. And I talked about this on a previous video. So these are really great for protecting your records. They're like paper thin. I mean, they're razor thin, okay? And they're very soft on the inside. A lot of times records come with paper sleeves, and you know, they don't really do the best job of protecting your records. A lot of times they actually scratch your records, so you don't want that. So keep them in paper, I mean these soft MoFi inner sleeves, and ditch the paper inner sleeves in my opinion. Some people will still keep them. It's totally up to you because you bought it, it's your record. But in my opinion, I would ditch the paper sleeves and just, you know, keep them in something like this. And like I said, they don't take up much space. They're very, very thin, and they protect your records. So number two is keep them in good inner sleeves, okay? So number one was clean them. Number two was keep them in inner sleeves. Number three most important thing that you can do to protect your records is to keep them away from light, heat, and moisture, okay? Keep them out of the sunlight, keep them out of your car during summer. You know, my Arizona and Texas viewers, it gets really hot in the south. I know because I've been traveling. It always seems like during summer I travel through the south and, you know, on my way to Texas, but it gets really, really hot. Not so hot here in LA, but even in LA, I would recommend that you guys keep your records out of your cars, okay? So keep them away from light, heat, and humidity. If you live in a really humid climate, don't keep your records, you know, in a humid environment. Don't keep them in your bathroom. Okay, that's kind of common sense, but it's still, you know, still important to say. And also, all these topics I've mentioned in other videos, so some of you guys are probably tired of hearing this stuff, but I realized that I hadn't put it all in one single video. Okay, I would kind of mention it here and there, so I wanted to kind of do that today. All right, so clean them. Keep them in inner sleeves, and keep them away from light, heat, and moisture. Keep them out of your bathroom. Probably the best place to keep your records, honestly, would probably be like the closet. If you have an IKEA shelf in there, that's a great place to put them because it's away from everything. It's away from the elements. Sadly, you left a record in your car. I'm sorry to hear that. Hello. Hello, Black Viper 86. Nice to see you here from Rochester, UK. All right, so number one, clean them. Number two, keep them in inner sleeves. Number three, keep them away from light, heat, and humidity. Number four, most important thing that you can do to protect your records is to keep the album jackets in outer sleeves. Okay, so let's grab a record over here. Let me lean back and grab Black Sabbath Paranoid, classic record, okay? So not only is the record, you know, in a proper inner sleeve, but you got to put the album jacket in an outer sleeve, okay? And that's going to protect it from scratches and stuff like that, from the paint getting all scuffed up. If you have a lot of these records, right, side by side in your shelf, they're going to have so much friction against each other, and you don't want all the artwork scraping off, you know, it's going to make them look really bad. So if you keep them in an outer sleeve like this, then they're good to go, and they're more protected against, you know, wear and tear on the actual outside of the outer sleeve, okay? So keep them in outer sleeves, that's important. For the background of my videos here, I don't actually keep them in outer sleeves just because it kind of makes them more reflective and they start reflecting all the lights in this room. But in general, keep them in outer sleeves, you'll be good to go. So let me set this one back here, if I can do this. There we go. All right. Okay, so recapping one more time. Clean them. Keep them in inner sleeves. Keep them away from heat, light, and humidity. And keep the album jackets in outer sleeves. Okay, so the last thing, number 5, that you can do to protect your records is to store them vertically. Yes, keep them like this, not like this, okay? So when they're sitting somewhere, don't keep them in a drawer where they're all stacked one on top of the other, okay? You want to store them like this, okay? You want to store them vertically. Don't have 100 of them stacked up like this. That's very bad. And over time, that's going to cause the records inside all the jackets to warp. They're going to warp, they're going to bend, and they're going to do weird things, and that's going to really be bad in the long run. So keep them vertical, okay? Now, the last thing, actually, I came up with this one just a second ago, and this is actually pretty basic, but also very important to mention. Check your tracking force, okay? So if the needle back here is putting too much weight down on your record grooves, then it's going to carve up those record grooves, and it's going to make them sound really bad over time, okay? That's why I, avoid, I tell people to avoid Crosley's, because they have really heavy tracking forces. It's like, it's too much. Oh, thank you, Ty. I appreciate that. So the tracking force on a Crosley is really, really heavy, and anything over 3.5 grams, in my opinion, is likely to damage the grooves of your records. So you're not going to play them for very long before all of a sudden you hear the sound quality deteriorating. So I guess number 6 in this list would be to check your tracking force. Now, how do you do that? How do you know how much weight the record needle is pressing down? Well, you get yourself a little digital gram scale like this one. Now, if you're in the UK, this is the American version. You might want to get something different, but gram scale, it's all very kind of similar technology. So basically you turn it on, okay, and wait for it to start up there. Okay, so you see the numbers are kind of jumping around. That's because I'm holding it. But if you have it set down on the turntable platter, right on top of the cork mat or whatever mat you have, place it on the mat and leave it alone, and then hit, the tare, and it'll go back to 0. And then you lift up the needle and put it right here on the digital gram scale. And that's going to tell you to the 0.10th of a gram how much weight is on there. Thank you, the sweet PJ. Hold on, let me see. Let me finish reading your name. The sweet PJ23. I appreciate it, man. Spending some of your birthday money on the channel. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You're awesome. You guys are all awesome, I just want to say, by the way. So yeah, that's going to allow you to know exactly to the 10th of a gram how much weight your record needle is placing on your records. Now, like I said a second ago, anything over 3.5 grams is too heavy, okay? Most styluses, like the Ortofon 2M Red behind me, that one puts 1.8 grams of tracking force. That's within the safe range. Anything from 1.5 to 3.5 is totally safe. That's not going to ruin your records. But anything over that, over 3.5, no guarantees. So that's the 6th thing. Hold on, I need both my hands here. That's the 6th thing that you can do to ensure that your records are going to last a long time. And that not only they're going to last a long time, but the grooves are going to be in good condition. Okay? So those are the 6 things, and let's recap one more time just to be redundant. Let me turn this thing off real quick. Okay. All right. So, recapping for those of you who have watched this or watching this video much later. Okay, number 1, clean them. Pretty simple. Keep them in inner sleeves. My opinion, the best ones are the Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab inner sleeves. Okay, keep them away from heat, light, and humidity. Okay. Basically, if it's good for your closet, then it'll be good for your records. Keep them in a closet. That's like a perfect place to put them. Don't put them in your bathroom. Don't put them outside in the garage, or in a shed outside with no air conditioning. That's not going to be good. Don't keep them in your car. Okay. If you are coming back from the record store, then yeah, you can keep them in your car. But as soon as you get in your car, if it's summertime, man, crank up that AC. go straight home, drop them off so that they're protected, okay? Number 4, keep album jackets in the outer sleeves, like I just showed you a second ago. Number 5 is store them vertically, like that. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it, man. And number 6, as a bonus, check your tracking force with one of those digital gram scales. So those are the most important things that you should do to protect the life of your records. So that was the most important thing I wanted to stress today. That's what this whole video is about. And now we can just kind of chill. Now I can answer all your questions. Sorry if there were some questions in there that I wasn't getting to, but I just want to kind of put that out there for the people that are going to watch this video later. Just want to get to all the, the cream of the crop, the important stuff, the meat and potatoes first in this video. Okay, now we can just kind of hang out. We can talk records. I can answer all your questions. Okay. Are sound bars bad ideas for vinyl? I wouldn't recommend it. I know it'll work in a pinch, most likely, but I wouldn't recommend it. I kind of like having 2 separate channels, left channel, right channel, and being in the center. That's really kind of what records are designed for. A sound bar will work. I mean, if that's all you have, then by all means, go for it. But I would prefer 2 separate speakers. Okay, let's see here. Thank you, 93 Shadow. Appreciate it, man. Okay, actually some cartridges like the Pickering V15, Shure V15, incorporate some anti-static brushes, which also affects the required vertical tracking force. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If it has an anti-static brush, kind of like this one right here, some of the cartridges out there have little bits of this anti-static brush in front of them, which kind of, cleans the record and makes sure there's a lot less clicks and pops, right? So as it's going around, it'll be cleaning it while it's playing it. And that, of course, will add more weight to the overall cartridge, and then that's going to increase the, the tracking force. So yeah, that's a very good observation. Right now, the 2 styluses that I've experimented the most with is the Audio-Technica AT95E, which is the one that my LP120 came with. That was the stock cartridge. And then the one I'm on now, which I've kind of upgraded from, is the Ortofon 2M Red. And I really like it, but I think it is about time for me to upgrade. So if I do that, I'll definitely let you guys know in the future. I'm still thinking about how this video is kind of flipped, mirrored image. That's a little odd. Was it like that last time for you guys that were here last time? I don't really remember. Shure M447 is a solid cart. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any experience with that, but I'm sure it is. Can you fix warp records? That's a really good question. Okay, so there's some YouTube videos out there of people trying to fix the warped records I remember I saw one where a guy turned on his oven and he was basically like putting, I don't remember, it was like 2 hot plates, and he was putting the record inside and then putting that whole thing in the oven. I wouldn't recommend that. Even if it does work, it's just the risk of damaging the record is really high. You might actually damage the record further by trying to get rid of that warp. So I honestly wouldn't recommend it. I would encourage you to either take that record back and get a replacement, or something like that. Try something else, because heating up the record and trying to melt that, PVC material even further might cause more trouble than it's worth. So if that answers your question, let's get to some of these comments in the back here. Let's see. Hello, guys. This video was kind of last minute, so I just thought I would make a video today, you guys. Why are some records so expensive? Excellent question. It pretty much depends on how rare they are, and how sought after they are. Some records can be really expensive, hundreds of dollars. And like I mentioned during the last live stream, Elvis Presley's very first record that he recorded it went for sale on eBay, I believe, for $300,000. by Jack White. Jack White was the one that ended up buying it. So records can be dirt cheap in the bargain bin, or they can be really expensive like that record. It really just depends. How rare it is definitely plays a factor, but yeah, you never know. Sometimes you can find some gold in the bargain bins. I have some friends that really like crate digging, like in the bargain bins, and the only thing is it takes them a really long time to find some gold. You got to dig through a lot of coal before you find that diamond. So yeah, I mean, if you've got all day to dig, by all means, check out the bargain bin and just be there for a long time, just looking through everything, because you probably will find something there that other people have overlooked. So yeah, if your day is free, go for it. If your multiple days are free, then go for it. But if you've only got, half an hour to be at the record shop, you might just want to go with a normal record, a brand new record, something that was just repressed, something that's sealed, something that to a high degree of certainty will play fine on your turntable. But yeah, rare records can be really expensive. Also, if they haven't pressed a record in a really long time, like the last pressing was 1996 or something like that, and they're kind of hard to find, and the collectors that have those records are hanging on to them, then yeah, that can definitely raise the price as well. But it really depends. I think the bottom line, the biggest factor of why records are expensive is because they're rare. Certain pressings. Now that same record that costs $250 on eBay right now, if they repress it, like in the case of Kings of Convenience, I was waiting on 2 of those records to be repressed, and I saw them on eBay. They were $250 like each, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna wait a little while, and I'm glad I did, because like 2 months after that, they were repressed, $25 each. Real easy. Real simple decision to make. So yeah, it really depends on how rare they are. Okay, let's see here. How often do I listen to cassettes? Pretty often. Right now, unfortunately, my cassette deck, I believe the belt needs to be replaced. So I'm going to do a video pretty soon on the channel of my cassette deck actually getting repaired. So we're going to go to a really special place that is here in Los Angeles that I've mentioned in one of my past videos, but I've never actually showed you guys that store, that little shop in detail. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about a place where you can take your old equipment, whether it be a vintage turntable or a cassette deck or a Laserdisc player or an 8-track player, whatever you got, and they do excellent repairs. Those shops like that are becoming harder and harder to find. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna go to that place, and it should be a lot of fun. Do I collect digital music? Yeah, on CDs, and yeah, I download quite a bit on iTunes. I actually have a budget every month for iTunes. It's not as big as my vinyl budget, but I do have a budget every month for iTunes. I can expect to spend X amount of dollars every month on iTunes, because there's a lot of music that you can get quickly through iTunes. I guess that's kind of what I like about it, the convenience. I love music in general, all its different formats, from vinyl records to the big 12-inch albums here to the 7 inches, CDs, cassettes, all that stuff is awesome. But downloading stuff through iTunes, yeah, is really convenient. But if you really love an artist, you really love an album, I think owning it on vinyl is the best way to go, because that way you actually own it. I had a friend a while back tell me that, you're not really owning the music through iTunes or something like that. You're basically, or like Spotify or Pandora, you're just kind of renting it from them. And that makes a lot of sense, actually. So it's like, in addition to having it on record and it sounding better, you also don't get advertisements. You don't get ads when you're kind of off the grid, so to speak, when you're playing, a regular record on your turntable. So yeah, I agree, vinyl is the best. I'm glad we agree, man. Have I heard the band Tangerine Dreams? I know they did the soundtrack for that movie Firestarter, and that's actually, it was because of that movie that I started listening to them. Their stuff is very surreal, very out there. So I haven't heard much of their stuff, but the stuff I have heard, I liked. Yeah, very kind of experimental, and I'm kind of into that music. I mean, I listen to a lot of ambient, so I should definitely listen to more of Tangerine Dream for sure. All right, let's see here. Are you guys enjoying the live stream, by the way? And hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Is this microphone working okay? Okay. Just let me know. This is the first time I'm trying this microphone. Did I ever use Napster back in the day? Can I admit that on camera? Yeah, I definitely used Napster back in the day. I was actually the first out of my friends to find out about Napster. Back then, you know, it wasn't illegal. Back then it was, you know, still very, very new, and the lawmakers hadn't caught up. So yeah, I was downloading music back in the day. And it was really neat to have music immediately like that. But yet again, like I say, regardless of how convenient digital is, and MP3s are and everything, if you really love that music, I believe you should own it on vinyl, you know? And that also allows the artist to get paid and everyone's happy, you know? So you're giving credit to the artist by buying their records, for sure. Okay, let's see here. Am I going to get a wax cylinder player? No. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get a wax cylinder player anytime soon. Because I don't really see a need for it. I mean, I did that video about wax cylinders, and they are really cool, for sure. I still have my blue amberol wax cylinder, you know, record. Can I call it a record? Yeah, it's a record. And they're really cool, but I don't really see a point in owning a wax cylinder player just because I don't really have that many to play, and they're becoming really, really rare. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they're practical. Same as like with a, what do you call it? A brain fart, 8-track player. Yeah, you know, 8-tracks are pretty, I mean, they are the precursor to cassettes. Cassettes, I think, did it better, but a lot of people still say that 8-tracks sound really, really good. They're kind of like the portable reel-to-reel format, but in my opinion, I don't see myself owning an 8-track player in the future either. Also, I've kind of maxed out the connections in my receiver, so I can't hook up anything else without unplugging other stuff. So, hey, Tanner York, nice to see you. All right. Techmoan rules. Yes, he does. He's an excellent YouTuber. I have not tried the spin clean yet. A lot of people have told me I should try it. So if I do, that'll be definitely a video in the future for you guys. Let you guys know my thoughts. What's best for atmospheric albums? Is that what you're asking me, Powerwolf? Atmospheric ambient albums. Well, my top musician as far as ambient goes is definitely Robert Rich. And I did a video a while back on the channel about Robert Rich. He is awesome. And I've actually got some of his albums back here. This is probably one of my favorites right here. This is a Blu-ray audio disc, and he actually signed it right there. So he said, "Many thanks, Robert Rich." So really, really cool. This is a Blu-ray audio disc, and it's got both of his albums, Perpetual, which is the 8-hour album, and Somnium, which is the 7-hour album. And both of them are completely uncompressed on Blu-ray, and it does sound fantastic. So yeah, if you can hook up a Blu-ray player to your setup, or if you know, just plug in a good pair of headphones to your Blu-ray player or to the TV that's connected to your Blu-ray player, then yeah, you can listen to something amazing like this. I mean, you can play this all night long and it sounds awesome. So really, really, really good. It's very peaceful, very relaxing. So if you're into ambient, highly recommend Robert Rich. And if you're not into ambient, well, that's okay. Let's answer a few more questions here. This is fun, guys. Favorite record shop in Dallas or Texas in general? Well, actually, when I was in Texas last year, I really wanted to visit Josie's Records in Dallas, because it is like the Amoeba Records of Texas. You know, I've heard many, many good things about Josie's Records up there in Dallas, but Unfortunately, I was kind of in Central Texas and South Texas, and I didn't get a chance to head up to Dallas, unfortunately, before we had to come back here. So yeah, when I go to Texas again, I definitely want to hit up Dallas. I've got family up there, and I want to definitely hit up Josie's Records. So the record shop that I liked, that I actually went to in Texas, you know, that I have firsthand experience of, was Friends of Sound Records. That place was really cool. That's in San Antonio. They have a ton of 45s. They got some really good 45s there. And the staff are really cool there. So Friends of Sound is really cool and very chill. And usually there's not a ton of traffic there. It's pretty relaxing, and they play really good music. I think they have 2 DJ like turntable stations in the shop. So they're kind of like DJing from this side of the room to that side of the room. They take turns, and it's pretty cool. And they have a nice mural on the wall with Kurt Cobain and Selena and some other people as well. So it's pretty cool. Friends of Sound in San Antonio, check them out. All right. What's the oldest record I own? Probably that Blue Amberol record that I talked about. That one was from a few years before World War I started. And a few years before the Titanic sank. So yeah, that is by far my oldest record. Is there a chance that Amoeba Records may one day open up any record stores anywhere here in Virginia? Good question, Mark. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say no. Right now, I don't know of anything that Amoeba is gonna do in Virginia. But as far as here in Los Angeles, or specifically Hollywood, they have said that their lease at that building is going to expire, I believe, next year by 2019. And that's really scary because I love Amoeba. They're awesome. And I go to them all the time. And the whole music scene there is wonderful. It's awesome to be a vinyl record collector at Amoeba. They have so many events and all kinds of stuff going on. But unfortunately, I believe once their lease expires in 2019, which is just next year, or is it 2020? One of those. Basically, once their lease expires, they're going to have to either move out of that place or like go to kind of split their store into other locations. I'm not sure what their plan is, and it really kind of scares me, to be honest. And a lot of other collectors are like, no, Amoeba can't move. So, but it's like prime real estate down there in Hollywood. There's so much foot traffic, and I hope they stay there for another 20 years, but unfortunately their lease does expire either next year or the year after. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Amoeba, because I love that place. What was the first vinyl that I bought? That would have to be Sade Love Deluxe. Excellent record. What should I do about shelving units collapsing under the weight of my records? The best thing you can do, well, first of all, get a vinyl, shelf, like an IKEA Kallax shelving unit. And instead of just putting it together with, the little wooden dowels and stuff that come with it, I would recommend to use wood glue to seal up those, all the little nooks and crannies. Use wood glue on every part of it when you're putting it together, and it'll be a little more sturdy. So hopefully it won't collapse under the weight of the records. It shouldn't, because it's designed not to. Do I like jazz? I love jazz, yeah. Very chill music. Bill Evans is my favorite. Where do you get your old records? The 78s, now keep in mind I can't play 78s, but because I need to get that needle. But the 78s that I have bought are also at Amoeba. At Amoeba, once you walk in, if you go to the very, very back and you turn to the right and you go all the way down, you'll see all these little albums. They look like picture albums, and they look like the spines of really old books. Whenever you go there and you take them out and you open them up, you realize, oh, these are actually 78 records. These are actually the old shellac records. So I bought, I believe, like 2 or 3 there last time. So yeah. And then the really old stuff, sometimes I'll find on eBay. Do I like Tool? Of course, man, I love Tool. Tool is awesome. I did a video, Tool 10 Facts, on this channel as well. Tool is one of my all-time favorite bands. I was actually just playing them right before this live stream, but unfortunately I can't play them on camera because of YouTube's, copyright robots will shut my channel down, so we don't want that. I got to keep making videos in the future to, keep spinning records and keep having fun. I don't want to get shut down by YouTube. Let's see here. Groovy Lisa says, Jarrett, I have a 78 of my grandpa playing country music. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. What instrument does he play? Let me know. I hate, Iglesia Muerte says, I hate being stupid. No, you're not stupid, man. But I'm trying to be protective of my vinyl by not playing often. Is that bad? No, not really. Oh, thank you, 93 Shadow. I appreciate that, man. So playing your vinyl records like often is not actually bad as long as, like I said, your tracking force is within a reasonable range. Okay, if it's 1.5 grams to 3.5 grams, you're going to be fine. You could play them every day, and you'll probably be fine. Especially if it's really on the light end, like this one right here, the Ortofon 2M Red, 1.8 grams. That's not bad at all. You know, I play records multiple times a day, and you know, over the course of years, and they're still fine. So yeah, don't worry like that you can't play your records often because it's going to cause the grooves to wear out faster or something like that. If your tracking force is good and your needle is clean, your stylus is clean, you know, you have like a little, this is another thing I probably should have mentioned. If you have like a little stylus brush, or you have one of those other methods to clean your stylus, make sure it's clean. And you can play your records, you know, day and night, and they should be fine. They won't wear out. So yeah, that's not a dumb question at all. But you know, if you really just want to preserve them and you enjoy the music, but you don't want to play them often, then that's totally up to you. But don't be afraid of playing your records, you know, really, really often, because it's not really going to harm them if your tracking force is correct. If you're playing them on a Crosley, no guarantees. I play the vinyl of an album as a treat occasionally versus CDs. Okay. That's good. Yeah, it's kind of like, I've kind of used this analogy before. Albums are kind of like the full meal, okay? They are like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're the full meal. You get the whole package. And these 7-inch records, let's grab one here. You know, the 7-inch records, 7-inch singles, are kind of like a snack, you know? They're kind of like candy in between the meals. So these are fun too, and just playing them back to back is kind of fun, or just putting them on one at a time and acting like your own DJ. That's fun. So yeah, 7-inch records are cool too. They're kind of like the snack. Cassettes are also kind of like the snack. Let's see, well, I don't want to jam this one in there. I'll just set this one aside for now. But yeah, cassettes are like a snack. 7-inch records are like a snack, and these are like the full meal. Except for this one up here. This one's actually a single, but it's on a 12-inch record. I didn't show this one to you guys last time, but I got a couple of questions from people about it, so I'm going to show you guys this one right here, if you don't mind. This is, let me get up here. Hopefully I don't trip over all these cords. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about this one. This one is awesome. This is if you guys can see it there, this is Carl Sagan, A Glorious Dawn, and it was a special pressing of it by Third Man Records, which is Jack White's record label. And check it out. Look at the record itself, man. It's gorgeous. Here we go. Isn't that beautiful? Gold vinyl. So on this side, it actually has the musical information, it has the grooves. But on this side, there's just nothing. It's just, if you look real close, you can kind of see it's got that kind of design etched into this side. So this side doesn't have musical information, but this side does. And basically this is to kind of commemorate the fact that Third Man Records and Jack White were the first people to ever launch a record player, a turntable, into the upper stratosphere at 95,000 feet up, I believe, and to actually play a song at that, you know, height. And the song they played was actually it wasn't this type of record because plastic will melt at that height, but they played it was like a gold-plated record with the same song. And it was Carl Sagan, A Glorious Dawn, which was a song that was edited by a guy on YouTube called Melody Sheep. Highly recommend you guys check out that music video. It's really cool. So this is Carl Sagan, A Glorious Dawn. If you search that on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. And Really, really beautiful record, really beautiful song, and it's really, when you listen to it, it's really deep and meaningful, you know, because it talks about mankind's future and space exploration, all that really cool stuff. So definitely check it out. So I got some questions about that last time, like what is that astronaut record in the background there? Well, that's what this one is. So Carl Sagan, A Glorious Dawn, really cool. And I actually did finish reading Carl Sagan Cosmos, by the way. I told you guys like a while back that I was reading that. Well, I finished it, and it was really good. I gotta be honest with you, there's a lot of it I didn't understand, because that dude was like way ahead of his time, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good book. Good companion to the music, for sure. And this was also, of course, a TV show from the 80s, which they redid with Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think 2013 or 14 or 15, one of those years, recently. So I'm going to set this one back here. Well, if you guys are wondering how I put this record wall together, because I got some questions about that during the last live stream, I have a video on the channel that's titled How to Build a Record Wall Cheap. And I basically just use some hook screws. There's screws that screw into the wall, and they kind of like have this little hook, kind of like that. So I put 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the sides. So that's how I did that. But you can watch that video and check it out and see how you can build your own record wall for dirt cheap. All right, personal favorite colored record. Nothing Vinyl Moon, it's very specific. Personal colored record that I really like. Well, you know, I do like, let me see, where is it? The one at the very top up here, Anastasis by Dead Can Dance. Let me show you guys this one. Hopefully I don't fall off this chair. All right, here it is. Anastasis by Dead Can Dance. I actually got this one for Record Store Day. When was it? I believe, no, it wasn't last year. Was it last year? No, I think it was the year before last. Yeah. So it's a gatefold, and it opens up like this, but I just love this kind of dark and gloomy album cover right there. I don't even know what those are. Those like giant flowers that have lost all their petals. I don't know. It's very dark and gloomy, you know? They almost look like heads on pikes or something. It's really spooky. So the colored record aspect of it is it comes with two records in the gatefold. And as you can see, I have them in MoFi inner sleeves, like I mentioned. And they're on really beautiful deep green, kind of that deep forest green colored vinyl. So I really like these. And of course the music is really good too, and they play at 45 RPM. And there's 2 songs per side. So a lot of really good musical information that's really densely packed into these grooves, and it sounds excellent. So if you guys find this one like on Discogs or eBay or something, highly recommend you pick it up. Sounds great. This is Dead Can Dance, Anastasis on, it's the Record Store Day release of it on, you know, deep green vinyl. Really, really cool. So I'll set that one back up there. The comments are just flooding in. Thank you guys for all your comments. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of comments I'm not going to be able to get to in this video, but we'll get there, guys. We will get there. All right, let me set this one back up here. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see here. What's the smallest record shop that you know of or have been to? That would probably be Hybrid Records in Corpus Christi, Texas. Hybrid Records is a very small but new record shop that just kind of popped up down there. You know, of course, if we're looking at a map of Texas, then Corpus Christi is like right down here by the Gulf of Mexico and about 2 hours north of Mexico. That was the smallest record shop that I've ever been to. Yeah, it had, you know, maybe about 10 crates around the store, kind of just against the wall, laid out. And that was about it. They had some other crates of 45s and stuff like that. They had some cassettes, like one little area of cassettes, but I would say that Hybrid Records is probably the smallest record shop that I've been to. And then on the opposite end of that, the biggest record shop I've ever been to is, of course, Amoeba. I'm late, but I am here. Nice to see you, ER Safeguard. 111 Sienna. 2 bedrooms. I'm guessing you have crates or record shelves. 10,000? Are those 10,000 LPs or 10,000 like 45 singles? Because 10,000 of anything that's gonna take up a lot of space. Wow. Where did I get that Vinyl Rules poster? Okay, so this is a good question. So Vinyl Rules, I got that one off of, I think it was like Etsy. Someone was selling it, and I thought it was really, really cool. So I bought it. I originally I thought it was a sticker, so I was trying to peel off the backing to stick it, but then come to find out it's just a regular poster, so I had to put some like a poster strip on the back of it so that it'll actually stick. But yeah, that's where I got that one. It was off some Etsy store. I couldn't even tell you who I bought it from, but I thought it was pretty cool. I've seen some people that have t-shirts with that on it. Pretty neat, huh? Spinning that vinyl. We'll talk soon. All right, guys. Bye.